Welcome back to Sippin With Sin, the number one podcast about stuff and things important to everybody across the world. That's right, it's science, proven by people far smarter than us. Don't question it, accept it in your heart of hearts, soul of souls. It is what it is, and we do not question it. It is a new era for us as we move past episode 100, and we start our next 100 adventure. Episode 101, that's right, we are here with 101, pretty wild. And we got a fun episode. We got some stuff to talk about. Had a little bit of a short turnaround this week, but we got stuff to discuss and stuff to talk about. So it'll be fun. Appreciate you all being here. Thanks for hanging out. Thanks for coming back for another week, another episode. So let's welcome back, without further ado, our esteemed colleague, the one and only Mr. Christian.
How's it going? How's it going, everyone? It feels good to be back for another week. It is a quick turnaround. We got some about, and I'm excited, as always.
Yeah. And, so should we just get right into it? What we've been watching, reading, listening to, and playing this past week?
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
If you don't mind, I'll start because I think I had less going on than you did.
Well,
so I'll go ahead.
Fine then. What are you trying to say? What are you trying to say, Christian?
Save the best for last.
Oh, okay. Uh-huh.
So this week, like I said, it's been a short turnaround. You guys who have been keeping up with us know that we are recording this a little earlier than we normally would. With that said, I did get to play some more Fallout 4. Y'all, I love this game. I love this game. There are certain games that I've played in my life that have really made a lasting impact. Fallout 4, Mass Effect 2, Ghost of Tsushima, God of War, and God of War Ragnarok. I just kind of lumped those in one. There's other games, of course, but we don't have the time to name every single one that's made a big lasting impression. But that is this game. I love it. I don't want to stop playing it. I want to play it through. I want to get to the end. I want to see how the story wraps up, all that stuff. But I keep playing the side missions, and that's a problem of mine. I love side missions, especially when they're actually fun and when they have their own little story. I love when you give me a game that has side missions that aren't just, hey, go over here and fetch this. I love when it's hey, this thing happened. I need you to help me do this because we can't. You go to do the thing, you get a little bit of story, you get some items, you level up. I love that kind of stuff. So Fallout 4 has been great for me. Aside from that, I've been I haven't been able to read too much. There hasn't been a whole lot on the comics front. I've been writing a bit. It's new. I'm very new to the writing thing. I've written 2 short stories that are horror based, and I will send you those as soon as they are polished. When you have the time, you can read those. Let me know what you think, and maybe we'll collab on a story as well. That'd be great. But other than that, I've gotten cards in that I collect. You guys know that I collect anime cards, so my Naruto collection. For those of you watching, can see that it is getting quite large. So I'll be putting all these cards in sleeves here soon in a little binder. And like I said, I'm not collecting them to sell. I'm just collecting them for me. I think they look cool. Right now I'm holding a Itachi SSR card. And this is when he was essentially resurrected. For those of you who don't watch Naruto, you don't know what I'm talking about, but that's cool. But anyway, I really like collecting these. It's fun opening the pack, seeing what you're going to get. It's essentially like gambling, right? But it's fun. And if you guys ever collected cards before, you know what you're getting into. Other than that, it's like I said, it's been a short, light week. I have been doing some things in real life that kind of prevent me from being able to just really sit down and get into things that I would normally like to get into. And those things, sometimes they're very, very stressful. Sometimes they're not. Sin, you know how stressful life can be. On a whim, I know you get that. But other than that, guys, I honestly just been trying to keep my smile up, my head up, and just hanging out. Did watch some stuff. We'll talk about the majority of the stuff that I watched or got into later. And if I happen to think of something else that I did get to look at, I'll bring it up randomly. But what about you, man? What have you been listening to, getting into, playing, watching?
Well, I started Cinema Saga Hellblade 2.
Oh, how is that?
Well, if you were a fan of the first one, you will like it a lot. So I have to say this, Ninja Theory, visually, it is beautiful. It looks amazing visually. Mm-hmm. Audio design, fantastic. like the immersive aspect of the voices swirling around your head, the panning from left to right, moving around like with the surround sound, and the amount of dialogue they've wrote for the voices to like pretty much be going nonstop while you're doing stuff is insane. It flows really well as far as like the way the game goes. Like even if it's like a travel point, it's like the camera pans out and moves to the area, and then it like zooms back in on you behind the character. Combat will just like literally feels like a fight scene in a movie. It just keeps going in the way it moves. It's really well done though. I'm enjoying it. I think I'm pretty close to the end. I don't know that I'll get to beat it before I have to go do the stuff, our little getaway, but I'll probably beat it. I'll beat it when I get back just because it's I'm enjoying it though. I like it. I do. I really enjoyed the first one. The first one really impressed me. It was very different. And like I said, it's very, very immersive. It just, the way the voices and everything is like, it's hard to talk during it and like entertain because I'm just listening to the, essentially it sounds like your conscience. It's like, you can't beat him. You'll beat him. You can, like, it's just constantly. And I'm just like, okay, leave me. Like, I don't know. It's really cool though. But I've been enjoying it. It's not a very long game. I feel like both games, I want to say the first one was around 6 hours, maybe 8, depending. And this one's about that probably about 8 hours.
Oh, really? About the same thing?
Yeah.
Okay.
But it's cool though. It's really, really good.
So you know what you're getting into then if you played the first one with this one. You know.
Essentially, it's just a continuation, pretty much.
Okay. Well, that's actually cool. I like games that continue the story and the plot and everything of the first one and just kind of up the graphical content.
Yeah, it's
and then
it's pretty much the same thing. It's like nothing. It's nothing like a whole new dynamic to it. It's pretty much just the story continues with Senua. So.
Got you. Okay.
And you're in the land of giants. It's no spoiler. It's like literally in the beginning. So that's different. But it really, like, the whole, that Nordic lore and stuff is so cool to me. So I really dig it. I've played that.
Do you recommend it is the next question.
Do I recommend it? Yeah, definitely check it out.
Okay, good.
Definitely. Right, it's on Xbox and PC right now. You can get it on Game Pass and play it. Past that, I have been doing behind the vocal stuff. That's right. You can check those new episodes out. Just saying. I've been busy doing behind the scenes stuff, just trying to get YouTube content flowing out, TikTok content, all that stuff. Grinding stream, just doing everything. I'm taking like a little vacation getaway. Me and the wife and boy are going with some friends for a couple days, and so I've been trying to like get ahead of the curve for that. And kind of prep for that. So that's been chaotic, but I did get to watch some stuff over the weekend. I fit some stuff in, and I would love to talk about it. I would love.
Okay. You want to jump right into it?
Do what?
You want to jump right into it?
I mean, I wanted both feet. I want to go.
Okay, let's get it.
I mean, I watched UFC over the weekend. It was a solid card. Like, it was fun. The main event was really fun. It could have been Dustin Poirier's final fight. It probably realistically is, and he put on a hell of a show. But that's not what I wanted to talk about. What I want to talk about, what do you want to talk about first, Christian? Let me ask you. Let me pull a Cody Rose here. What do you want to talk about?
Let's talk about.
You want to talk about the 2 shows I've watched, which I don't even know if you've watched one of them yet, or do we want to talk about a movie that I watched?
Let's do the shows first, because we'll talk about the movie longer, I think.
Okay. All right, which show would you like to talk about? Because the shows I watched over the weekend would be Demon Slayer. I know, shocker, if you've been listening, it's a huge revelation. Your mind's blown that I watched Demon Slayer. I know. And Kaiju number 8. They're been my weekly, actually my weekend shows pretty much. They both drop on the weekend, so I watch them. Done in like an hour, and I'm caught up for the week. Which one? Which one do you want to?
Let's talk about Kaiju number 8 first, because I didn't get to finish that one, and also like Demon Slayer, so we'll save that one for last.
What about Demon Slayer? You broke up.
Let's do that one last.
Okay. Kaiju number 8. I'm not gonna lie, I was in a rush because we're recording this early, and it's just been real busy trying to get things ready and everything before we go. So I watched it like, I don't know, 30 minutes or so, probably before we did the podcast. Before we went live. So, yeah, Kaiju number 8. You get to see the battle between Kafka,
Kafka, yeah.
and I don't remember his name.
Mhm.
The vice, whatever,
Vice
captain. Yeah, we see that battle. Not a very long battle. I was expecting a little more, but that's cool. It's fine. There's really not a lot in this episode, truthfully. I mean, the main thing I want to talk about is at the end of the episode. Pretty much it's that Kafka gets away, like essentially breaks his sword or knocks him back and is able to escape and then transform back. And the vice captain starts training more, and Kafka, of course, is studying. He gets made into an officer. He was a cadet, correct?
Yeah.
He gets made into an officer because he was able to realize that the kaiju they were fighting had reproductive organs, and you essentially needed to stop them so they would stop reproducing and making more. So they said he saved a bunch of lives, and they promoted him, which was a surprise to everybody. And he finally achieved his dream of becoming, an officer. And then past that, you see the kaiju number 9 that he fought.
Mhm.
Pretty much steal a
Humanoid
car,
one.
murder a dude, and was thinking about fighting Kafka and all that stuff, and revenge and all that good stuff. And then, I'm gonna wait. I don't really know. At the end, you see a very ominous figure coming down from the clouds, riding I don't know what, but it looks like, I don't know. It looks like the apocalypse coming. This is like some crazy looking kaiju riding like a bird thing. I don't even know what it was, with a whole bunch of stuff, and it looked crazy. So yeah, I mean,
very true though. I mean, you're not wrong, but we see what's essentially
awesome.
like a
the
new
design
a
of
new
that character
problem.
looks really, really cool.
Right, like a new problem has arrived.
Yeah,
essentially what we're getting.
So you have 9 and whatever that one is.
That's true. And I don't want to give that one a name because one, I don't remember it from the manga, and also don't want to tell you guys wrong. So I don't want to be like, oh yeah, it's kaiju number 10, and then we get to the next episode. It's totally not it. We'll see it when we see it on the next episode. For me, like I said, I only got to watch like half of the episode, so all I really got to enjoy was the main fight that we get to see, which is Kafka and the vice captain. Vice captain is insanely strong. He's doing his thing. He's fast as hell. He's really good with his bladed weapons, which we already knew was going to happen. But Kafka did a good job, getting away most of the time. Like he did get slashed and cut up a couple times.
He's literally trying not to hurt him.
Trying so hard. But he did get his core exposed. And once the vice captain realized where the core was, he aimed directly for that spot, which Kafka knew he would do. So he moved his core inside of his body, made it into a trap, and then used a bunch of his strength to break the weapon of the vice captain so that he could get away. And it kind of pulled an All Might. For those of you who watched My Hero, pretty much punched him so hard it left a shockwave and created a big cloud of dust so that Kafka could get away. And he's really tired because, as we find out in this episode, healing himself and regrowing limbs while he's in his kaiju form does take a lot of his stamina away, so it makes him really tired. So that was cool to see, and he's not unbeatable. He does have weaknesses. He does get tired. He does have a limit to his strength. I did like seeing that. Of course, he looked amazing, especially when the animation's really going. And the other thing that I really enjoyed about just the fight in general is, you hear how they're talking to themselves in their head. Kafka's really focusing on how cool the vice captain is and how he's super fast and how he's like a whole different person once he's fighting and how he doesn't want to hurt him. But then the vice captain is pretty much talking to himself and saying he should be dead right now. Like his power is strong. I believe he's a 8.0 is what he said. So that's pretty high. 8 out of 10. That's really high up there. That's a problem. If Kafka wanted, if he turned, if something happened, somebody got control of him, if he lost control of himself, he could do some major damage before they took him out. So that is cool to see how strong he is in comparison. Aside from that, that's pretty much all I really got to see from the episode. The animation that I did see was smooth. Obviously, they put jokes back in there, and I liked that they showed that the other girl, that the younger woman on the team, blonde, I forget her name right now, the rich girl,
really
super strong. Yeah, they show that she actually cares about Kafka. She cares. She doesn't want him to get hurt. She was super afraid that he wasn't going to make it back. Once he did, she was happy. I do like seeing stuff like that, character development slowly over time. They're doing their thing, man. I hope they keep up with the show. I really hope they don't slow
It's a
down. I really
cool
hope that they
anime.
don't give us
It
less
is
stuff.
very different than the last several I've watched, though. It is definitely more
Yeah.
on the humorous side, which is fine. Like, there's nothing wrong with it because when it pops off, it pops off. Like, it has the action and the cool stuff to like back it, but it is a lot more on the humorous side.
Which, like, it could easily be an issue that it's so humorous, but it's not. They couple it very well.
Because when Kafka turns, man, it escalates quickly. Like, they
Real
go
quick,
in hard when it happens.
They really do, man. And it's like you said, it's fast. They do stuff, and it's crazy.
Yeah, but it's good though. I definitely recommend checking it out. It's definitely worth a watch. And we're on ready for episode 9. I think that was episode 8 we just watched. No, maybe it was. Is that right?
I actually don't remember the episode.
It might have been 9. I don't know. We're somewhere
check.
in there within the season, but I have a feeling we have. Well, I don't know. Do we have? That wasn't the finale, was it?
I don't know. It wasn't the finale. It was episode 8. It was. I think that I don't know how many episodes it's gonna have, and I actually, now that you say that, I really. So while you're talking, I'm gonna check that out.
Because I mean, I feel like it's gonna leave off with maybe the encounter with whatever that figure is. I don't know. It's definitely a kaiju, but I don't know much about it. I just know it looked awesome. So you still got old mushroom head kaiju number 9 running around, and then whoever this new thing is, and they do make the revelation that 9 was actually a human, like hiding as a human, which blows the mind of all of them. So now they have to worry about that. But it's pretty solid. Definitely check it out.
So it is going to be 12 episodes, and it did get greenlit.
I mean,
actually,
I would think
it hasn't been renewed for season 2 right now.
I would say it's going to get.
It hasn't been renewed.
It's definitely going to.
Yeah, I mean, we got 4 episodes left, so by episode 11, we'll know whether.
I would say it's going to be greenlit. I feel like it's. I mean, they're promoting it pretty well, and I feel like it is. I don't know. I've seen it in enough places. There's collaborations going with it. GFUEL did a collaboration. I would say it's definitely getting renewed.
I sure hope so, because I actually really like this show.
All right. Do you have any other notes on that, or is it time to talk about the Slayer of Demons?
Let's talk about the Slayer of Demons. Let us know what you think about that.
We see
demons.
What?
I just said demons.
Yeah, not those kind though. So we are on episode 4. Yeah. And Tanjiro last episode was with Sound. This episode he's with Mist. And of course, if you've listened to the podcast, you know that I love Mist. Mist is my favorite. And Mist has definitely changed since the beginning. One thing I noticed, and it's really funny, all the Hashira that have encountered, or not encountered, they've all encountered Tanjiro, but that have actually been on the battlefield and like bled, for all intents and purposes, with Tanjiro, have like this new, like, well, I mean, I'm sure they all respect him because he's surviving, but it's like this new love and camaraderie with him.
Mm-hmm.
Because Sound went from like, you know, kind of cold, flashy, whatever, to now, like, even when he sees him, he's like, I believe in you, Tanjiro, let's take out moves. And like, there's this new connection with them, and it's really cool. Mist is the same way. He's beating the hell out of all the corpse. And then Tanjiro comes in, he's like, Tanjiro! He's like so happy to see him, and he shows that he has like the swordsmith guy there making his swords for him. They have to be so sharp that he can throw a paper airplane at it, and it will split them in two. And yeah,
which actually makes a lot of sense, because we've seen a few times now how easy it is for these upper moon demons to get away.
Yeah,
like they're it's really hard sometimes to cut their heads clean off, and they have so many abilities too. To if your weapon isn't like at its peak at all times, you're dead, and that is what they're trying to teach the newer recruits who don't have the same abilities as like Tanjiro, and then obviously the other Hashira.
You can tell how far behind the other recruits are from Tanjiro.
Yeah. And
I would say
they're
even
in the same.
Inosuke and them. I don't. We haven't really seen them training as much, but you can just tell the like skill gap, I guess, if you will.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely think that I definitely think that Inosuke and
They're
Zenitsu
closer,
are
but yeah,
they are a little closer. However, Zenitsu's like just base ability, he is not a great swordsman, right? He's not. We know that. And then Inosuke, what makes him useful as a swordsman essentially is the fact that he fights so wildly. He's not conventional with his attacks and his movements and his patterns. That is what gives him the edge essentially against demons because they can't read him like they would read a normal person. And then with Zenitsu, I think one of the biggest things that he has to get for him is that they don't take him seriously. It just seems like a everyday pushover. He's a crybaby. He's afraid of
yeah.
everything. He doesn't want to do this. He doesn't want to do that. But then when he gets knocked out, he goes to sleep. He's a huge problem because he's so fast.
I was mainly talking about just like the other Demon Slayer corpse. Like they're
just the regular recruits.
It's crazy how far below them they are. It's like skill level. Like they're not even able to remotely think about blocking or doing anything to the Hashira. Mm-hmm. Like they're not even. It's bad. It's like you have like a super level character fighting like someone walking in brand new like level 1 or 2. Like it's just it's
You're absolutely
sad.
right. Absolutely right. Yeah, it is that.
We get to see a couple cool things. We see that Mist brings up Tokito brings up that Tanjiro's always so positive, and he really likes that about him. And he says, "Well, I know pretty much." God, dude, I just want to blank on her name.
Nezuko.
Nezuko. Wow, dude, I went completely blank for a second. Nezuko is safe, and you see the guy that trained Tanjiro, which is the former Water Hashira, that trained the current Water Hashira, and the other one, what's his name, that passed away in the...
I don't remember his name.
But the one that essentially was going to be the Water Hashira that died, that we learned during the whole Water episode with him. He is actually watching Nezuko, which is cool. You get a little more Mist. Like, they pretty much are talking. And Tanjiro, essentially, for the first several days, is just watching. Just listening to the other cadets and watching. And even saying, like, I think he's a little lighter on you guys than he would have been previously. Like, he used to be more harsh. Like, he's calmer. And then we finally get them to fight. And it does not disappoint.
When you say them, who do you mean?
I mean, Tanjiro and Mist they don't fight. They have a sparring session, which is going to happen each one to pretty much pass. You're going to have to be able to do what they're training you to do, then to move the next course. And they scrap, and Tanjiro does what he needs to. He doesn't land the blow, but he's close. He gets it blocked, but it's enough that he's passing like he did what he's supposed to do. And Mist is proud and is like, you can pass after like 5 days. And everybody else is like, can we go too? And they're like, no, you've been here 2 weeks and you got to stay longer. Pretty much you guys suck and you're not going anywhere.
Pretty much, yeah.
But that's not, there's 2 other things I want to talk about that happened in this episode. One.
I figure, yeah.
One, first off, it's a revelation to me. I don't know why. Me and the missus, neither one of them, this is clicked. I just thought they were obviously they're a demon. But I thought they were more of like, not a disciple. What am I trying to say? Not like helper? But I never knew who 4 was until now. And 4 is the chick that keeps playing the little string. I don't know what that instrument's called that would summon people. Mm-hmm. Right? Isn't that 4?
I believe so.
Like, because it shows a bunch of little like eyeball things going out to spy because they see Mist going somewhere that I'm about to talk about in a minute. And then you see her with the little whatever that instrument is. I don't know. I'm not even going to try. It's a stringed instrument. Plucking it. And I was like, oh. And then the missus was even like, I didn't realize that was 4. I've been wondering who the 4th one was. And I was like, oh, well, it makes sense that they were there for all this stuff. But I just thought maybe they were like, I don't know, not an assistant. But you know what I'm saying? Like a stooge or something that is like, your job is to summon people. Yeah. Or whatever. But
you thought they were like a jobber, essentially.
Yeah. So that's 4. 4 is apparently spying on them. So that's going to be, I'm sure that's going to play out very soon. But what we find out is, they say Mist disappears every night. after training. After training all day with him, he disappears. And you see him walk into Serpent and Wind training. And they're training because training the cadets or whatever is not cutting it. So they have to, the only way to get stronger is to train with other Hashira and push themselves in battle. So that's what they're doing. They're trying to get ready. And Mist comes to train with them. And bro, I loved it because they're like, all right, we will train with you 2 against 1. And I'm just thinking, wait, that's not fair because Serpent's below Mist, but Wind is stronger than Mist, I thought. Mist is handling, he's like, well, I'm sorry, or something like, or he makes some comment like, oh, you're at a disadvantage, even 2 against 1 against me. Dude is handling business. Mist is badass. Oh, yeah.
He's getting it done, man.
He literally, within the first move, had Serpent messed up. Like, Serpent was like, oh. Which, obviously, they're not fighting the death. It was a sparring session, but, like, they could have hurt each other if they weren't focused. But it was lightning fast. Stuff was blinking all over the place. It was really cool. Easily the favorite part of the episode. And then other than that, they threw at paper airplanes. Because for some reason, Tanjiro was like, I challenge you to a paper airplane thing. Because apparently Mist likes paper airplanes.
Yeah, it wasn't for some reason. So earlier in the episode, Tanjiro goes to, I can't remember the guy's name, but he's the guy who the swordsmith that works on their sword. Make them super
It's specifically Mist Swordsmith. Because they each have their own swordsmith.
Exactly. So he goes to his swordsmith to kind of ask him what the Miss Hashira likes, what he's into. And then he says, well, he likes paper airplanes. And he's like, what do you mean? He's like, yeah, he's got a bunch of paper airplanes around here just that he's made and hasn't done anything with. So Tanjiro decides, like, they don't say all of this, so you kind of have to, like, watch it and understand. But Tanjiro figures that if he challenges Mist Hashira to a airplane throwing contest and wins, he will go easier on the new recruits to keep their morale up because everybody's so down on themselves for not being able to do what Tanjiro can do, what Mist can do, and like they all know that they're gonna die and this and that. So with that happening, Tanjiro challenges him. If Tanjiro wins one out of the 10 tries, then he'll be nicer to them. And Tanjiro doesn't succeed. He loses because, when our Miss Hashira straight up makes paper airplanes all the time in his free time. That's like his one hobby. So after doing that, it inspires the rest of the recruits to challenge him as well to a paper airplane throwing contest because they're like, well, maybe I can beat him. I make the best paper airplanes in my village. I do it too. I do this too. So they're all doing it together, and it makes everybody much happier. The morale is boosted. So Tanjiro, even though he lost, he still completed his goal, which was to essentially open up the heart of the Miss Hashira more to the new recruits. Because he's super nice to Tanjiro because he respects Tanjiro after being in battle with him, leading with him, and all that stuff.
It's funny the difference of the relationships, though. Like, it really is night and day. Because even when he said something about Tanjiro coming to you soon, and they're like, like the ones that haven't had him yet or fought like alongside, they're like, he just does. He's too stupid to die or something like that or whatever. Like, I don't know. It's like, yeah. But Mist is like, good luck, Tanjiro. You're gonna he's just, I don't know. They believe in him. It's really cool.
And that's the difference. Everybody who talks to Tanjiro, who's with Tanjiro, who's in the same room, and all that, they all believe in him immediately because Tanjiro has that quality about him. He's a genuine person. He's extremely nice. He gives a shit about people. He has a lot of leadership qualities as well. He always puts himself first. He never asks anybody to do anything for him. He always does it on his own, and he pays attention. Remember when he was fighting the last Upper Moon, the one who could switch his body out and all that shit? Tanjiro copied an attack from
Why do you keep calling them Upper
Zenitsu.
Moons?
What's that?
Why do you keep calling them Upper Moons?
Because that's their rank when it comes to Muzan and the demon.
I just thought they were called upper rank demons. I didn't know they were called Upper Moons.
Yeah, in the Japanese dub, they're not called upper rank. They're called Upper Moon and Lower Moon. That's how he ranks them. So I'll say it upper rank for right now because that's what you're used to.
I mean, I understood what you were saying. I was just curious.
Oh yeah, it's just because that's what it is on the
interesting. Is it like that
subtitles?
Are they called Upper Moons?
Yeah, it's like that. Okay. It's like that in the manga too. Yeah.
Okay.
they're called upper lower moons. So, and that's why they have the
Yeah,
little
yeah, yeah.
things in their eye. Yeah,
Yeah, it
it
makes sense.
says.
Like I understood it exactly the whole time what you're saying. I was just curious why I like the terminology.
Oh yeah. That you, I could have just been messing up this whole time and playing it off. But yeah, they're upper lower. So I'll continue then. So the upper moon that he just fought in the last season and killed finally, he copied a move from Zenosuke. I'm sorry,
Yep. Yeah.
Zenitsu.
Zenitsu, yeah. The
And
thunderclap
that's because
or something, right? Like the leap or sprint or whatever.
Yeah, he put the sprint. He puts all of his muscles into his legs and uses it for one burst of extreme speed in order to catch up with a demon or catch a demon off guard to cut their head off. So that's what he ended up doing. And we also see every time Tanjiro starts to fight, not every time, but almost every time he fights a upper or lower rank demon, he starts to fire breathe in it incidentally, and that's because of. Actually, I don't remember if they explained it or not in the last season, but yeah, so sun breathing is the only that Muzan is afraid of because that could kill him. So
sun breathing is also the strongest of all of them because it's what all of them come from, correct?
Yes,
I'm pretty sure they said that too. Like who said so I think it was somebody in the last season that said that they were talking about sun breathing and bringing it up that he does, and they're like, oh, nobody, whatever. That's what all the other elements are stemmed down from is sun breathing, and that's also the dude that apparently almost beat Muzan. I guess the swordsmith we keep seeing visions of. He was sun breathing.
Yes, and they talked about it in the last season, but that guy met Tanjiro's mom and dad.
Yeah,
before Tanjiro was born, and they gave him a place to stay for a while and fed him without asking for anything. So that's why he gave them the earrings that he used to wear. That's the earrings that Tanjiro wears. They've been passed down now. So he gave them to the dad, and then the dad gave them to his oldest son, which was Tanjiro. So that's why Tanjiro has those earrings, and Muzan remembers that because when he fought that person and almost died, he had those earrings, and he was using sun breathing. And then the guy, in return for the hospitality, what's that?
I said spoiler. That's number one. I'm convinced.
That's number one.
Christian's not gonna tell me anything ever. I swear they look alike. I cannot wait for I can't wait to watch number one fight. Number one is like my most anticipated. Other than Muzan, like I cannot wait for number one to fight.
Yeah, and they bring he teaches Tanjiro's family essentially the dance that is sun breathing. They don't know what it is.
It's a name too. Yeah, I can't. I'm not even gonna try. He says the name a bunch.
Yeah, but he teaches them that, and that's why Tanjiro kind of. So that's where that comes from, and they'll talk about it more. He'll learn a little bit more, talk about it. And I don't want to ruin anything and give you too many spoilers, so I'll leave it at that. But yeah, that we see that, and that's why people. All that to say, that's why people, especially that are with Tanjiro, that fight with him, that actually give him a chance, really respect him and lean on him in battle and just in life in general, because he goes out of his way. We've seen it in every episode this season. He goes out of his way to connect to people, out of his way. He did it with Gyu. He's done it with the Miss Hashira, and I'm sure that he'll continue to do it because I believe the Serpent Hashira is next.
Love.
Is it not him? Is Love? Is Love next? Oh, I'm sorry. Love is totally
shows
next.
up at Love's door, and they're going to eat because she's keeping bees or something and talking about honey.
That's right.
She eats.
Yeah, I totally forgot that. I don't think I saw that because that's after the credits.
I mean, that'll be 5. There's only like 7 or 8 episodes, so Love is probably gonna be real short-lived, or maybe I don't know. Imagine we're gonna start.
Love is all about flexibility. I do remember that, and I don't feel bad telling you that. But her thing,
I mean,
like, yeah, her thing is all about being.
She has
flexible
a dope sword. That's probably my favorite part of her. Is like, as Hashira, she has a really.
I remember how she fought as well. Like when she got her mark and stuff, she was dodging all those attacks and being super flexible, and that's.
It's funny, like what I just told you about the 4th theme and not realizing that. That's what the missus just put in chat. She didn't realize that. Like we literally just talked about that. I don't think you ever seen her eyes though, or I say her. I'm not really sure. Yeah, it's a her, right? It's a female demon, isn't it?
I believe. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't think you've seen the eyes though, because it pretty much just strums and summons people, and then it cuts away to whatever one it summoned. But yeah, I'm excited. I mean, I understand it's a filler season, and that's fine. At least it's not like, 20-something episodes of like long drawn out filler. We get a little bit of action. Is it the action we're normally accustomed to? No, absolutely not. Usually it's like by the 4th episode in, we're already bloody, we're already scrapping, been fighting for an episode or two, but it is what it is. We're learning more about Hashira. This is important for a backstory and caring more about them. I understand, and seeing Tanjiro, like you said, connect people, like the differences he's making in their lives and their outlooks. I don't know what Christian's doing. Christian, what are you doing over there?
I'm checking something because I don't want to tell you guys too much about Demon Slayer ahead of time, so I got to check.
But yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited to see. I know it's gonna go on a cliffhanger. I already know it's gonna make me mad because I'm gonna be like, well, not mad. I'm just gonna be wanting so much more when it stops. I'm gonna be like, oh. But I love it personally. It's crazy to see the growth of Tanjiro over time, and I'm excited to see these. So, are all dead except for 4, 5, or 4, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4? 5 and 6 died last season. And then, wait, no, did we ever see 10? Have we seen 10?
Maybe. I don't know. It's hard to remember, to be honest.
Pretty much we're just to the top 4, though, I think, right?
Mm-hmm.
And, of course, the final boss moves on. But one is going to, if one doesn't go hard, I'm going to throw something. I'm going to be mad.
Oh, that's the other thing. I forgot. That's why I was confusing the ranks, because the demon that Tanjiro killed at the end of the last season, the one that was like changing bodies and making himself real small to run away and shit.
That was
5. All
right.
That one was. I feel like that was 4.
So is 5 the one we just saw? No, it said 4 on this one, didn't it? On this episode?
No, I'm trying to remember because I feel like that was 4, but then the other dude died, so it got ranked up.
Oh, maybe I'm wrong. So maybe it was the 5. Guitar player thing was 5 and then moved up to 4?
I think that's what happened. Like I could be misremembering that, but I could have sworn that the one that Tanjiro just killed was 4, then this one essentially gets promoted.
The vase one, the one that like did all the fish stuff, that was 6, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
Maybe not. Maybe that was 5.
Let me check. I'm gonna check real quick because I feel like I might be saying this wrong, and I don't want you to look it up because then you'll ruin the story for yourself.
Man,
I really don't want you to look
so hard
for
me not to look up stuff. I want to look up manga stuff so bad. I'm like,
don't do it, please, God, don't do it. You're gonna ruin everything.
I know, but I want to know, and I've got years of waiting. Christian, I don't know that I have this in me.
Don't look it up, because if you look it up, you're gonna be pissed and you're gonna see some stuff you definitely don't want to see right now. Trust me.
Sadness. All right, you got anything else about this episode before we move along? Also, I don't know why I just now noticed this, 4 episodes in, but in the intro, Tanjiro is like lunging at Muzan. I don't know why I've missed that every time. I don't know if like I just was focused on other things and then like somehow skipped that. But every time I see that, I'm
you're probably excited and just not paying attention.
Bro, I'm so excited. I have to say, like, especially with me watching sub, I'm like locked in on the episode. Like I am in. All right, you have anything else, or are we ready to move on to the last thing I watched?
Yeah, we should move on because what I'm looking at, I can't talk about.
I know. Stop looking at stuff, Christian. I already told the missus there's 2 more arcs left, and I told her the title, and she was like, ooh. And I was like, I know.
That's fair.
Okay, so the last thing I watched is something I've only waited like 37 million years to watch. I literally have been waiting on this movie for 7 months. When did it come out?
December.
We're in June.
December.
So yeah, that's how long I've been waiting to watch this movie. I have been as patient can be. I have been teased by not understanding things would be released where they weren't released. And we got a surprise release. We got a surprise release over the weekend. They pretty much were like, hey, midnight, we got something. Oh, by the way, it's live. And that movie is Godzilla -1. I finally got to grace my presence with it. I want to troll you and tell you the movie's ass, but I can't even bring myself to do it because I started it and I was 10 minutes in and I was like, oh, this movie's badass. You already got me. Like, I can't even, 10 minutes in, I paused it and went, ooh, shit. And the missus was in the other room and she was like, are you serious? I was like, oh yeah, I like this. Okay.
Did she watch it with you?
She has watched most of it. She hasn't got to finish it, and I am 100% on board with watching it again. I've watched it
how come y'all didn't watch it at the
on
same
my
time?
own already.
How come y'all didn't watch it at the same time?
Because Baby Sin was doing Baby Sin things, and she couldn't finish it. He was running around.
Wow, you just left her.
No, she knew that I have been waiting literally forever to watch this. And her brother also wants to watch it, and she texted him and was like, he's not going to be able to wait. Like, we'll just have to plan another night and watch it with you again. I was like, yeah, I'll watch it with him again. I'm not waiting any longer. You know, it's wedding night,
Sin.
And I need
This
it.
is Sin. I can't believe that he left you all. As you were,
She even told me, she was like, I know you've been waiting, watch it. And then I started over when she was able to watch it, and then he like wasn't napping or whatever. She's like, I'm not gonna be able to finish right now. We'll watch it later. And I was like, all right, cool. She's like, go ahead and finish where you were at. So yeah. Okay. I really did want to troll you, but I was like, there's no way he's gonna believe that. I mean, literally, I've heard nothing negative. And this is over the 6.5, 7 months I've waited to see this movie. There has not been a single negative comment I have heard or seen anywhere from anyone about this movie. Right. So there was no way you would believe me trolling that it was ass.
I wouldn't have, yeah.
The first and foremost thing, and when the movie starts, I don't know what color grade they're using or what they're doing, but my God, it's beautiful. The color is so vivid and beautiful. The water is like this gorgeous blue. The trees, everything, just the coloring is immaculate. I'm just going to say that. I don't know what they use, but it pops right away.
Mm-hmm.
With that being said, I do want to watch the black and white version because I feel like that will be horrific, like just terrifying.
Yeah.
Past that, another thing I noticed right away, we're not present day. We're going back to World War II around the time. Actually, it may have predated the original. Because the original was like in 1954. But we're back World War II when Godzilla's creation would have been. And we're pretty much starting Godzilla from like the start of him being Godzilla. And we get to see a pre-mutated atomic bomb Godzilla. And I loved it. I'm not going to lie though, when I first saw him, when he first appears, literally 10 minutes in the movie. Not even joking. You see him 10 minutes into the movie. I was like, he's a lot smaller than I thought he would be. I was like, damn, he's small as hell. He's not small as hell, but he's about maybe a little bigger than a T-Rex, but not by much. But the thing about him is he is feral. When you see him, he is a straight up apex predator running around his territory, just destroying anything and everything that moves in his territory. Anything that could remotely be a threat, you're done.
Mm-hmm.
He lowers his head. His head stays close to the ground. I thought that was really cool because you've never really seen Godzilla do that. He's always, real upright. He's like very feral is, I guess, the best word to say. Just how he's down to the ground like hunting, I guess. Absolutely love that. I understand. I'm going to skip around a lot. I understand the character. You said that you care about the characters. You really do. It's a really good redemption arc story throughout it, and a very it's a good redemption hero story and wholesome story at the same time of people finding each other, belonging together, rebuilding, all that. I think that is fantastic. The story with the characters, because how many Godzilla movies do you actually give a shit about the people? It's not really that many.
Yeah.
This one, you actually have a good story built around him. But the best part, this movie is the exact thing I want when I watch a Godzilla movie. I want, when Godzilla's on the screen, nobody's safe, nobody matters, everybody's getting business, and that's what you get when Godzilla shows up. Shit gets fucked up in this movie. Case in point,
quickly.
Like, that's end of story.
Quickly.
Like that. That's it. Godzilla doesn't show up just to be like, oh, he's swimming. If he's swimming, he's about to eat a ship, blow something up, roll up in the city. He's gonna ruin everything. Like, there is no wasted.
The boy is straight killing people.
There is no wasted. Like, oh well, here he is. If you see him, shit hit the fan. It's over. Like, that's it. There is no like, oh well, we spotted him off the coast just swimming around. No, if you spot him, you're dead.
You're dead as fuck.
And that is Godzilla. That is what I don't know.
Listen.
That is the Godzilla I want.
I gotta know this right now. I know we're skipping a little bit, but
we're
I gotta
skipping
know
a lot.
right
I'm
now.
sorry, but this movie excited the shit out of me. I was so
I gotta
happy.
know right
Godzilla
now.
design.
When he first uses the atomic breath in this movie, tell me about it. Let me hear.
Oh, when he blows up the ship from down below, you get the glow, and I was like, oh shit. But that's not even that one. I was like,
no. I'm sorry. Not the first time it uses it.
Well, no,
when
the
he
first
uses
time,
it
when the very first time you see it, you don't see him. You just see the glow from the ocean, and it blasts the ship. And you're like, okay, atomic breath, sweet. Like, Godzilla does atomic breath. We know this. But the best part of that is the cloud and the literal bomb afterwards. And I was like, oh damn, it's like
an atomic blast, bro.
Yeah.
Like an actual atomic blast.
But the first time you see him do it, like actually watch him charge up and do it in the city, Jesus, he just ruins everything.
It looks like a Kamehameha.
It is
like
insane.
Kamehameha from Dragon Ball.
There's a reason this won an award for visual design, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it looks so good. I can't talk shit on anything. I just keep.
I even really like the soundtrack.
I was getting to that. That is something that I'm in
review.
love with. I played it in the car today, and the missus was like, "I know this is not what I think it is." I was like, "This slaps.
Yeah.
You leave me alone. This is so good."
Yes. Like, dude, it pumps
not
you
only
up,
that,
bro.
the on one of them, it's the original. Is it not?
Yeah.
Bam,
Yeah.
bam. Like the whole like old school monster coming in. Yes.
Yeah.
Love that.
Totally on
Again,
that.
the characters are awesome. I really, honestly, no joke, truly like the story and the characters. I thought it was really good. It was really interesting how they chose to take down Godzilla. One thing that was different to me, but I wasn't mad at it, is how he can regenerate. And there is spoilers in this, so if you don't want to hear spoilers, I'm sorry, skip ahead. He can regenerate now.
He can. I mean, that's something that's
new. That reminded me of Shin Godzilla or something a little bit, like a different.
Yeah,
element.
They allude to that in other movies, but they don't just outright showing.
I mean, he's like some Wolverine regenerative stuff. Like, it's fast.
Yeah, very true. Very true.
But he scars up, which is cool because you see the effects. Also, can we talk about how absolutely terrifying he is in the water? When those spikes are up out of the water and then it's his head, like half of his head just staring at you swimming, he is horrifying.
He looks like a demon, bro.
He is horrifying.
Like
and I, as soon as I saw it, was like, America, why do you keep fucking up? This is what I need. Like, this is so good.
Yeah. It's fantastic, dog. Like,
it is.
This movie's firing on all cylinders.
Obviously, the original special place in my heart is going to be up there for sure because it is what started it, right? Originals, I'm always big on originals. I also really like a lot of the other ones. I don't know why. Christian, don't make fun of me. The Smog Monster, for some reason, has such a nostalgia thing on me.
You talking about Hedorah?
Yeah.
Like the little
I watched it at like a
I love that one
grandparent's
too.
house when I was a kid so many times that one just, every time I see it, it makes me happy.
That's one of my favorite ones. So no disrespect. That's one of my favorite ones. I saw that when I was younger, and it hit because that little creature was so fucking nasty and gross, and it was literal filth, and its eyes were red. Yeah. I fuck with it, dude. So I'm in it. I'm in there.
Past that, I actually really do like the 2014, the American one. And the reason I liked it is because they took like almost like a Jaws approach. Like, you get little small tidbits of like, oh, there he is, and then finally you get like the big reveal, and I was like, I like that. You know, they didn't overdo it. It wasn't just like him stomping around the whole time and you lose like, oh, well, it's Godzilla. Like they built up the appearance, and I actually did like that one. But this one is so much different and better. Like this, it may be my favorite Godzilla movie.
Yeah, I mean, it's safe to say
it's
that
a hard
my
argument
favorite
to.
one.
It may be. I don't know. Even over the original, which is weird for me to say. But, I mean, for me to watch it again and just be like, even the second time, like, damn. It's really good.
The original Godzilla is fantastic. It's not even in my top 3 of favorite Godzilla movies, just because, I mean, I love originals too, don't get me wrong, but just because it's the original doesn't mean it's the best.
America should
and
take
I really
notes,
like
though, on what,
yeah,
how he is. He is terrifying. Which, granted, I did praise one of the few, like, the things I really did like in Kong, the new Kong New Empire, or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't like that Godzilla was labeled in it because he really isn't in it much. But when he's in it, he's kind of like this one in the fact that if you see him, he's about to just beat the shit out of something. Like, he's there to whoop ass. And that's what I want. And I don't want, like, other than him curling up in the Coliseum, like, oh, he's cute. You see him, it shouldn't be cute. It's like, something's getting its ass whooped. Like, Mark Henry music should play every time Godzilla appears.
I'm about to get the ass
Yeah,
kicked.
literally. Because that's what happens. Like, he just does not mess around.
I agree. And this is what because I know I've talked about this movie in tandem on the podcast. I've talked about it on social media.
You actually didn't get to talk about it much because you avoid spoilers. You just pretty much praised it, and then that was it. But no, the soundtrack, going back to that, yes, the soundtrack is amazing. Like,
it slaps.
Thoroughly. But it's also that atmospheric, the stuff that I love in a soundtrack, like that orchestra, building moments, like when I think it's called like the Godzilla Suite or something, the one you were doing, when it hits, you're just like, oh, here we go. Like, shit's picking up.
Somebody about to die. Like, yeah, dude, Godzilla in these movies isn't here to fuck around. He's really not.
What is it? At one point, he literally just sees a building and is just like, it's like a kid attacking Legos. He's just like, man, just smacks the shit out of it and then takes his tail and hits the other side. I'm just like, man, that's my son tearing up some stuff in his room. Like, dude's just mad.
Just breaking shit,
Yeah.
man. I love it.
I mean, what do you have to say about it? Let's hear. I did notice. So the only thing that I've seen, I keep watching now, is the little girl. You can tell it's a child actor, and they're just like, "Hey, you're doing this. Hey, you're doing that." Because at the one point where she cries, it's like they're like, "Cry now," and it's like the fakest
You cry now.
And yeah, literally, it's like when my son is like fake crying. I'm just like, I know that cry.
I will say, like,
watching like the main character, like you'll see her just watching his face, like, what is he doing? Just like in amazement and stuff. But dude, it's
I love that. Oh, hold on. That yawn was coming whether I wanted it to or not. Now, I loved there was a couple things in this movie that really, really stood out. Aside from like all, we talked about the soundtrack, we talked about the special effects, we talked about the characters. Let's talk about the characters real quick. I really like that the main character isn't necessarily the most likable character, but he also is a very likable character at the same time.
Yeah.
I really like his redemption arc in the story, how they don't outright tell you what's going on, but they kind of do tell you what's going on. I like the fact that he straight up tells his person, essentially, like, I can't be this person you want me to be, that I should be for you, because my war isn't over. Like, it's weighing on me heavy. I'm having nightmares about it. Like, I have to do this. He does do it. I love that the guy that hated him, his biggest fan at the end. And like, we see stuff like that in movies all the time, but like the way that it is told, the way that it is acted,
it's very good writing. It's very, very good writing.
Dude, when he gave it, I knew when I saw the shit in theaters, I was like, he's gonna make that shit seem like it's a kamikaze plane, but it's not gonna be. And like, I love,
because he's a kamikaze pilot is essentially what he was.
Yeah, absolutely. But like, if he did his job, right? If he did his actual job at the beginning of the movie, we wouldn't have gotten to the end. They wouldn't have seen an end, in quotation marks, air quotes. We wouldn't have seen an end to Godzilla. And he would have just kept continued to be a problem, to be a problem, to be a problem. I loved how they did that. I love how they ended that. I love the final battle, if you will. Like all of it just made sense. I love the people coming together at the end. It reminded me of like Spider-Man. Remember the very first Spider-Man with Tobey Maguire when he has to save the kids or Mary Jane, and then he doesn't choose, so he has to do both. And the people in New York show up to help him and all that stuff. And they do that in all the Spider-Man movies. Essentially, New York shows up to help Spider-Man, win the day, save the day. I love that they did that in this movie. The coupled with the music made it so much more impactful. I like the fact that it's just Godzilla fucking shit up. Godzilla was a dick in this
He
movie,
really was.
dude.
There was no
But
hero quality, lovable qualities of Godzilla. He
no,
literally is just killing everybody, biting people, throwing them, stepping on them, just doing what he
bro.
wants. Like,
Yeah, him destroying like the train station and shit. Like pretty much every single thing that Godzilla does in this movie is just petty. And I was here for it because it made me root for the people. Typically, Godzilla just has a bunch of collateral damage. He's walking over town, over cities, and he's breaking shit, he's crashing into buildings and all that. He's fighting another monster, they're wrecking the city. But in this one, he literally just shows imagine a big,
this is pretty
huge
much like
guy.
bringing the original back, which is smart because I think at the beginning it says it was the 70-year anniversary, and I think that's right. Or it's 70 years
Mhm.
now.
Yeah. But just imagine a big
So are
guy
they
coming
starting
into your
over?
house,
Do you know if
like
this is
opening
like
all.
are they beginning again? Are they going to run with this
I
Godzilla
have no
now?
idea. They left it open for a sequel on purpose, but that doesn't mean that they'll make a.
But are they?
It's
So
just
I didn't know if they were going to because Japan's made I don't know how many Godzilla movies at this point. There's a lot. I mean, he's been around since '54.
Yeah.
So I didn't know if they were gonna start fresh. I love the World War II aspect. I love the fact that we're back there with the minefield, kamikaze, them talking about the war, all that. Like, I really think that's cool. Taking it back to that era, trying to deal with this unstoppable monster, literally.
Give me your because I know we're running low on time. Give me your final thought on Godzilla -1. Your final thoughts coupled with your ranking at the end of that.
Fantastic. It's the Godzilla I want, and it's the only Godzilla It's the Godzilla we deserve. We deserve a absolute apex predator. Think of Halloween 2018 where Michael is just a great white shark swimming with fish. That is Godzilla. He is the predator that you should just be afraid of. If you're in his territory, fish are floating because of the radiation, it's over. Just, you're screwed. And I love it. My ranking, I've been thinking about this. I want to give it a 10 so bad. There's really nothing I don't like. I'm going to give it a 9.5, but I want to give it a 10 really bad. But I've also watched it twice, and I just watched it recently, so I'm sure watch it again with the misses, and I'm going to let it sink in more, but it's easily a 9.5. Easy. I don't know if I can go lower. It's fantastic. Score, visuals, story. The Godzilla is the Godzilla I want. I want that ruthless Godzilla. I would love to see that ruthless Godzilla against a monster. I want something to be like, oh, look at my new territory and stomp up, and Godzilla like, no, bitch, come here. Let me talk to you. Dude, God, he's ruthless. He is ruthless.
He really is. I agree with
How
that.
the hell's his big
I think
ass swimming like that, too?
They
He
kind of
just stands up like, oh, well, I'm swimming in shallow water. He just stands up like, what's up? No, you got a problem?
I like that they show him in the water fully submerged a lot, but they don't. When I say a lot, I mean like there are little wrinkles of it throughout the film. But I will say this movie doesn't give you too much Godzilla. It
No.
doesn't give you too much interaction. They perfectly balanced it.
Literally,
And
when
though
you see him,
Godzilla's
it
not
hits
in
the fan.
movie,
Like I said, there's no wasted shots of him like, we've spotted him, or he's here, or you get a glimpse of him swimming. If you see him, it's going down. Like, that's literally how this movie works.
I think one of the things that they really get this movie correctly is they back in the old time setting. World War II is really great because it's low tech. Not everybody's on a cell phone. You don't have to worry about news reporters and YouTube people making TikTok Godzilla dances in the movie. We just get to see him fucking shit up.
What?
And I will say that this movie, Godzilla Minus One, is very similar to Godzilla from 2014 because you still have like the military character as the main character. You still have Godzilla showing up and wrecking the city. Still, there a lot of those beats. The hero trying to get back home, trying to do like all things are still in the movie. But the way that the story is written, the story is told, and the way that it's acted is better. The Godzilla from 2014 had Bryan Cranston at the beginning of the movie. Right, the first half had him in it. Fantastic. We bought everything. Everything he said, I'm eating good, like because of all of that. However, it's just in this movie they care so much more about the character of. That's the thing. They treat him as a character, but also what he was meant to be, which is a fucking villain. Godzilla is not the person that is saving the world and like hanging out with people, high-fiving and shit. He is destroying everything. Godzilla is the physical embodiment of the atomic bomb. That's what it's for. That's what he was created for. That's the story that he was telling.
I like
And they
that they
do that
show
again
a
here.
very quick that happening, like the mutation, like him getting hit with it, and then next time you see him, he's full fledged, which is like a year or so. I think the time lapse is like a year.
Yeah,
and he's
I do like that they show that he has
insane.
gotten bigger without showing us him like growing.
Yeah,
He's just bigger the next time you see him, and they mention that he's gotten bigger. They mention that he's maturing, getting older, all that. I do like that because they give you exactly what you need without feeding you information. Because in the American-made films, we get a bunch of like techno babble jargon that sounds like it's supposed to make some kind of sense. And then we get all this shit about like what is the other Earth called? Essentially, the upside
Hollow
down.
Earth or
I don't
whatever.
Hollow Earth. Yeah, we get all this jargon about Hollow Earth and how everything makes sense and it's this and it's that, but it's just like, dog, I don't give a shit about that. I just want to see Godzilla beat the dog shit out of people, and that's exactly what we get in this. So that's why the ranking for both of us is so high. It's low tech. Godzilla's mean. He looks mean. He sounds mean. Like he's got straight black Air Force energy in this movie. I love it. I can't say
What
more.
was your ranking? Now that you've had time to stew on it, did you give it a 10? I feel like if you didn't give it a 10, you got it close.
I don't remember if I gave it a 10. I think I gave it a 9. I did talk after I saw it. But my feelings on the movie haven't changed. And if I don't give it a perfect 10, I would give it like a 9.8. But this movie is fantastic. And honestly, like, I kind of want to say that it's
I
a
could
10.
ever give it is a 9.5. I don't
think
have enough
it is a
flaws
10.
to, like, there's not stuff that I can be like, well, this knocks the score. And 9.5, it almost feels low for it. Like, I honest to God love this movie. It is so well done. It's on Netflix. Watch it, people. I'm telling you, whether you're a Godzilla fan or not, it's a great movie. It is actually a really good movie.
I think it is a 10, man. My feelings, nothing's changed. I can't wait to watch it again. This is a movie I definitely want to own. It's
this is a buy.
Blu-ray
This is
4K.
easily a buy. I will pay the price to own this movie. I would actually want to own the soundtrack too. I really dig the soundtrack.
Yeah, that's both of us now on Godzilla. Had a lot to say about it. We've run pretty much completely out of time.
I have to shout out. I don't know how big of a Godzilla fan H is, but he's in Kick Chat and he said Godzilla -1 is amazing, top tier cinema, a 9.9, absolute cinema.
Yeah, I mean, I have to agree.
I
have to agree.
It's so good. Just watching Mrs. face on certain parts, like that I knew were coming. I would just watch her. Her face would be like, "Oh shit!" And I'm like, "Oh yeah, yeah." This is Godzilla.
Shit is right.
This is what we should be getting. Oh man, it's fantastic. Highly recommend it. If you haven't watched it, go watch it. Like I said, it's on Netflix. Buy it. Watch it in the black and white version, in the regular version. The color grading again is gorgeous. But yeah, we have ran low on time thanks to that. Godzilla, it's all your fault. Stop being awesome. Actually, don't stop being awesome. Whoever did that should do more. They should continue it.
I agree.
H said he is not a huge Godzilla fan, and so many emotional feelings are tied to that movie, and he's going to watch it again soon. It is. It's top tier writing. It is actually, and I know some people will be like, oh, it's a Godzilla movie, it's a kaiju movie, whatever, not my thing. It is actually a really well-written story and movie on all fronts. Like, it makes you feel dread. You feel helpless. Like I said, when Godzilla shows up, you're like, oh shit, like I'm in danger. They're in danger. They potentially are going to die. And there is a lot of people dying. Like, it's great. But Christian, do you have anything else we want to talk about? That's it. All right. It was a short week, but it's time that we
pass the whiskey.
That's right. Get your
Whiskey.
As we go into last call, Christian, do you have one this week, or are we going to be
I do.
Oh boy. Hopefully it's not like last week and Christian's trying to, I don't know what he's trying to do. We learned a lot about you on episode 100. I just have to say that.
I don't think you guys learned anything you didn't already know. I'm broke as fuck, and I would like to not be broke. So
I mean, Christian is a character who lives in infamy, and people know him forever in bad terms.
Hey, I don't give a damn. Like, as long as it means that I live good, because I work every goddamn day, and it feels like I don't make no money. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm out here every day, straight going hard, working, doing my job. I don't take time off. I don't do nothing but work, and I'm still broke as hell. I've been eating noodles for 20 damn years. Sick of noodles. Anyway, last call question I wanted to bring up. Sin. Like, I know we talk about horror a lot. We talk about to ask you a question. I wanted to ask if you could make a movie, a comic book movie about any comic book character, what movie would you make? And tell us how that story would go. Like, give me the pitch for that.
I mean, that's on the spot. 2 comic book movies I would make right away would either be actually Haunt. Probably Haunt.
Nice. That would be cool.
I would probably go Haunt because I would think it would be a darker movie, more along the lines of horror. I would follow the story like Kirkman wrote, but yeah, I think Haunt will be really sick. I want to say Astounding Wolfman, but I mean, I think Haunt will be a cooler movie. I think it would be more gritty, darker, borderline. I mean, I guess it kind of would be like a horror-ish comic book movie.
Yeah.
Haunt.
I mean, yeah, I agree. I think that would be a really cool movie to see, because especially if you're into darker comics like Spawn and shit, like you would really dig that.
Speaking of which, I think wasn't there some Spawn news?
There's always kind of some Spawn news, but
like, I feel like we're not getting anywhere with it. But I feel like there was, I don't know, there was something said. I don't remember what it was now.
All I can say is there's got to be a reason why we haven't gotten deeper into, like, you know, Spawn getting filmed, getting cast, all this. Because I mean, it's kind of like Blade at this point, right?
Wait, we didn't even talk about that. I think Blade's in trouble, isn't it? Didn't they lose their actor?
I don't think they lost the actor. I think that he's really pissed because he hasn't taken on a new project since they announced Spawn or Blade, because he's been wanting to have his schedule free for this movie, and it's been years now. It's been like, what, 5 years since they announced Spawn?
Hard.
Yeah, and like, dude, with the Blade film, I think that by the time they get to the point to where they can start filming, the actor is going to be like
he's going to be 75 years old and be like, I'm not doing this shit anymore. I'm the nursing home walker now.
Yeah, he definitely deserves better, man. I think, you know what I think? I think that if he quits, James Gunn will immediately pick him up and make him an important character in DC.
Who would he make him?
That's the question. I'm not sure who he would make him, but he would make him important. I know that much. It wouldn't be like a bit role, you know what I'm saying, where he's in like
Yeah.
he would definitely be a reoccurring character just because he's a really good actor. He's been in a lot of Marvel stories of what Uncle Aaron and the Spider-Man Beyond the Spider-Verse film. Like he's in a lot of stuff. He was also in Invincible. He was the voice of the guy that turns his body into rocks and he's like a crime boss. I don't remember his name right now.
Oh.
Off the top of my head. But that's him.
Okay. All right. What comic book would you make?
I mean, you actually
Wait, was he
already
in Luke
said
Cage?
it. He was the villain in the first season of Luke Cage.
Okay. H actually just pointed that out. He was also in True Detective, right? He was in like season 3.
Yeah.
He
That's
is a really
Mahershala
good actor.
Ali.
Dude he's actually really good. He was in The Way the World Ends or whatever that is, I think. What is that called?
Yeah, dude. Mahershala Ali's in a lot.
Yeah, no, he's an awesome actor. They need to stop screwing off with him, truthfully. They need to Marvel, get your shit together. All right, what comic book?
It would be the Wolfman comic. I would do that.
Astounding Wolfman?
Yeah, Astounding Wolfman. I would make that.
Did you think I was going to say that one?
I actually thought that you were going to say that one, but you said, ooh, perfect. We don't have the same thing.
I mean, it was between them two. Those are the first two, like, top of my head that I thought of immediately.
And here's the thing. Of course, I wanted to go DC. It wasn't DC because I didn't want to just hop on the DC train for a minute, and I wanted to back up and give you guys an answer that would never give. I did think about Invincible, but I wouldn't want to make an Invincible movie. I want to make the Wolfman, the Astounding Wolfman movie, because a couple of reasons. One, I really like the story. I really like the comic. I really like the story. I really like the character. And I remember showing it to you, and then you ended up loving it as well.
Mm-hmm.
I remember that for sure. But also, it's a little darker. It's a little grittier, and you can go a lot of different ways with it. That could easily be a 3-movie deal. It could easily be a show that lasts for 3, 4, 5 seasons. You can make it 1 movie and just tell the solid story and just have it be that if you wanted. But for those of you who don't know, the character, his wife dies. He gets turned into a werewolf. He gets a mentor character in his life that is a vampire. So much shit happens, and I don't really want to get into because that's going to make this episode way longer than it needs to be. But I really think that would be cool. And then later on, if there's ever an Invincible live-action film, those characters do cross over in the comics. So it would be a cool crossover as well if we wanted to go the crossover route. But that would be a really nice dark story to tell. Sin, you and I both like werewolves a lot. It's like one of our favorite kind of creatures in that nature. So
favorite creature features, pretty much.
Yeah. So I would have a lot of fun telling that story, coming up with the design for the werewolf for live action. I would like to do a mix of practical effects and CGI. I would do a lot of practical effects when I can, and then CGI just to enhance, not to just make the character completely. Like, for an example, for actors who don't want to wear contacts that are real big, I would love to change the character's eye color with CGI, make them real big looking. And then some of the crazier feats of action would be nice to enhance with CGI, but it would be a lot like they did the Werewolf by Night story, the Marvel little short that they did.
Yeah,
it would look a lot like that. But the werewolf in the Astounding Wolfman, he has armor on a little bit, pants and shit. He looks a little bit more. You'd have a lot of fun with that as far as the design goes. But that's exactly what I would make. I think that would be hilarious to get the money to make that character and make it. I would make it cool and make it intense. I wouldn't want it to be a joke. I would put everything into it.
Okay. Oh yeah. I was trying to think of another comic, but Feral maybe. Feral may be cool, but I'm gonna stick with Haunt. I like Haunt.
I think Haunt's a good answer.
I like Haunt a lot. I thought Haunt was really good. Haunt was the best of both worlds. You had Todd McFarlane's art and Robert Kirkman's story. It was really cool. Really, really cool combo. But yeah, that's going to do it for this episode. Go see Godzilla -1. Trust us. And if you do, let us know what you think. And if you say it's awful, I will send Christian after you to give you a mouth hug and make your life better, because apparently your life sucks. Maybe not. I don't know. Maybe it's not for everybody, but literally everybody I've talked to says it's awesome. And I see why. But, okay. New episodes every Wednesday, 8 a.m. Central Time. Spotify, Apple Podcast, all that stuff. On YouTube, 8 a.m. Central Time every Wednesday. YouTube.com/IamSinister. Spotify, Apple, Sippin With Sin. What are you doing? Follow, subscribe, 5 stars. Do all the stuff. Thumbs up, everything. Show it love. Help it grow. Help us move up the list. And then we get to do other cool things. So, yeah, do the stuff. You can find us on social media. Over at Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, Threads, Facebook, Sippin With Sin, Sippin with Sin. Go show it love. Go follow. Say hello over there. And, yeah, other than that, we do these live on Kick. Kick.com/IamSinister every Thursday at 7 p.m. Central. Yes, we're recording this one a little different. Leave us alone. Pretty much every Thursday, 7 p.m. Central. If you want to watch the live recording, be in chat with chat while we talk about the stuff, there you go. If not, Wednesdays, 8 a.m. Check it out. You can find me on my socials, Twitter, Instagram, Threads, TikTok, all that stuff. IamSinister TV, Twitch, Facebook, all that. IamSinister TV. You can find me streaming Monday through Fridays on Kick, kick.com/IamSinister, youtube.com/IamSinister. And that's where you can find me, Christian. You can also find me on my other podcast that I've been doing, my series called Behind the Vocals, where I talk to vocalists. Apple, Spotify, and then, of course, my YouTube, youtube.com/IamSinister. Behind the Vocals. Christian, where can the folks find you?
You guys can find me on Instagram at Vin and Ink. That's all. You guys can also find me on the TikToks at my name, Christian. Those are the only 2 places you guys can find me on social media. Contrary to popular belief, I don't like social media then.
That's right. All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, it is episode 101. It is the start of a new 100 episodes, a new era, if you will, in Sippin With Sin. Thank you all for being here. Thank you for listening. If you made it this far, you're a real one. But at this point in time, you don't have to go home. But you got to get the hell up out of here. Christian, it's time for you to close her down tight, lock the doors until next week.
Thank you guys once again for watching us, listening to us, talking with us, commenting. We love it. Keep doing that, please. We love it so much. I'm going to leave you guys with 3 words. 3 words I'll leave you with every episode. If this is your first episode, very carefully because they save your life. If you've been here before, say it with me. Those 3 words are as follows. Don't get gutted.
See you guys next week.